Hey everyone, it's Gilbert.K here, and welcome to Indie Verve, the show where passion, grit, and creativity takes center stage. Get ready to meet a true rising star. Today, we're thrilled to have Tyrone Betters, the multi-talented actor and model who's carving out his path to greatness. Born and raised in Dallas, Texas, Tyrone began his journey in college and hasn't looked back since. From standout roles in Dallas and the price of fame to modeling for top clothing brands, his talent knows no bounds. With projects like Unbreakable Boy and No Better Love on the horizon, Tyrone's star is just beginning to shine. Let's give a warm welcome to the unstoppable Tyrone Betters. Hey Tyrone, how are you today? And welcome to the show.
I'm doing amazing. I had a great day today, just doing a bunch of acting stuff, and now I'm here doing a wonderful interview with you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Before we dive in, let's watch a clip of your reel.
Perfect.
Why Brandon?
Good question.
Don't act like you don't know who I am. I'm the same man that can't live up under the same roof with a dislawed motherfucker.
And you trust Brandon?
Okay. So the question is about yourself and what sparked your interest in acting.
What's so funny is my foundation, the foundation of everything, started in modeling. I started modeling when I was a freshman in college,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved every second of it. Still love it to this day. And roughly 4 years later, after I graduated school, I jumped into acting because of a mentor of mine that introduced it to me, told me to get into it, and I was like, you know what, why not? And then
Mm-hmm.
once I really got invested, so I'm going to say this is 2012, 2013, then that's when everything changed for me and I shifted into acting and training, um, being on
Mm-hmm.
sets, being a student of the craft. I just fell in love with the craft of acting.
Excellent. And what was one of your most memorable experience when starting out?
I think one of the most memorable experiences within, I'm gonna say modeling that really transcended everything was making the top three in a magazine called Crave Magazine. So I made the top three in that, and I felt seen, I felt validated. I felt like all my hard work those previous years was starting to take notice, and it took a long time to get there because being in college, being in school, I was just trying to create opportunities where I could. And
Yeah.
now that I have an extensive amount of years in the industry, um, I've just learned so much over the years. And my main thing is always to be a student. Be a
Mm-hmm.
student of everything so that you can learn and soak and take up everything so that you can apply it to your
Yeah,
career.
that's amazing. So how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Um, fun, business, um, trendsetter. I think those three. I'm all about my business. I love to have fun, and I always felt like I've been ahead of the curve for the longest. I just never got the appreciation for it.
Okay, okay. I checked your IMDb account, and you have so many credits under your belt, and also there's like upcoming. Like you've been so busy doing so. I'm not sure you're super busy. This is it this year and next year. You have a couple
In
projects on the
between this
go.
year and next year, well, really last year and this year, a lot of the projects I've filmed already. It's a few
Yeah,
more that we're still waiting to clear through. They're already filmed, so we're just waiting on them for it to come out and so that people can see it. But yeah,
excellent.
we've been on a tear for the last 2 to 3 years consistently,
Yeah,
and now I'm really just focusing my energy on new opportunities. My agents are doing an amazing job. Shout out to all of my agents, the Bennett Connection, Tab Agency, Encore Talent, NSB talent and Slam Model Management. I just want to make sure that I always thank them for all their hard work and due diligence and
Yeah.
allowing us to be successful as a unit.
Excellent. That's amazing. What's one fact about you that most people might not know?
Most people probably won't know that I'm actually a pretty good dancer.
Mhm.
A lot of my close circle of close friends know, but I really enjoy dancing. I enjoy being on the dance floor, love music, and I just like having fun. Again,
Yeah.
being in that fun atmosphere, very lighthearted, and yeah, I think that's a major thing that a lot of people don't know.
What kind of dancing do you do? Break
A,
dancing?
a lot
Or
of it's freestyle. Don't get me wrong. So in Dallas, in where I reside, Dallas, Texas, where I'm from, we have a movement called the boogie, and so I do a lot of boogieing. I do my Dougie. It's a lot of different things that we do. That's homegrown from here, and then you can
yeah.
just add a lot of ticking, pop locking. I do all of that.
Excellent. That's great. So we're gonna move on to the next segment. It's a game. It's called This or That.
Okay,
So in this fun game, I give you two options, and you have to pick the one you like the most or the one that fits you better. There are no wrong answers, and you don't need to explain your choice unless you want to. It's all about
absolutely,
quick, fun decisions just for the audience to get to know you.
absolutely.
Um, are you ready?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Oscar worthy crying or comedy ugly crying?
Oscar worthy crying.
Villain you love or hero everyone hates?
Villa you love.
Fake slap or actual cake to the face?
Actual cake to the face.
Kissing scene or awkward breakup scene?
Awkward breakup scene.
Talking to a tennis ball CGI or acting with a real animal?
Talking to a tennis ball.
Over the top scream or whisper you can over the top scream or whisper you can barely hear?
Whisper you can barely hear.
Getting hit by fake train or fake blood shower?
Fake train.
Over dramatic death scene or corny love confession?
Over dramatic death.
One take masterpiece or endless retakes nightmare?
One take masterpiece. One and done.
Fake accent disaster or forgetting the lines mid scene?
Fake accent disaster. We cannot be forgetting lines. I'm just gonna be honest. Time is money.
Um, yeah, so let's move on to the next segment here. Can you tell me
Okay.
about the journey or inspiration behind your work or project?
Oh man. So um I've consistently been the underdog my whole career, even since I was 18 years old. So I'll be 35 this year, and in everything that I've learned that God's timing is the best timing, and you just have to stay consistent in the meantime. A lot of times we ask for things or we pray for things, but we're not preparing ourselves to receive those things once we have them. So
Hmm.
when we're asking for something, once we have it, if we're not prepared for it, we'll squander it, right? So I think the journey so far has always been about getting better. I think I got distracted heavily between 25 to 27. Those three crucial years, I really dropped the ball. And so
Yeah.
around 27, 28 is when I really was able to pick it back up. And I've pretty much been from 2018 all the way to now consistent in everything that I do. I've increased in the opportunities. I've been signed. I've dropped agencies. I've been in other places. So I've continuously evolved. And I think the
Hmm.
biggest thing that you learn on this journey is that you have to be able to adapt and evolve. 10
Yeah.
years ago, social media was starting, but it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
10 years ago, you had to go in person to these auditions. So that means you had to get your
That's
butt on a
true.
plane to go to LA to go do things. Now we do everything off the phone, we do everything off of self
Yeah.
tape and so on, and it's made it easier and allowed us to be accessible to more opportunities, right?
That's true.
So I think along the journey, you just continuously evolve, remain a student, and you are learning and applying, learning and applying, learning and applying,
Hmm.
and it's a never ending thing. And I'm not going to be the same actor this year that I was last year. In the
Of
year
course.
after
Yeah.
that, I'm not going to be the same talent, and so on and
You
so
know.
forth. So, my biggest thing that I preach and that I live by is remaining a student. Because the more that you can remain a student, the freshness will still be there, right? You got to
Yeah.
think, I was 18 when I started modeling, and I'm going to be 35. So we're closing in on 20 years of being in the industry, and I still have that same excitement. I still have that same passion and fire that I
Yeah.
did like I was 18 years old. And that only comes from doing the work. It only comes from remaining a student, and it only comes from being open to allow God to bless you and bring things into your life that'll take you to that next level.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. It's persistence, I guess, and
That's it.
determination, and
That's it.
yeah. So, how did your experiences shape your approach to acting? Probably touched a
Uh,
little bit on that, but
I think the biggest thing was a lot of failure. I failed a lot. You
yeah.
know what I mean? I've received a lot of no's, a lot of not nows. You're not good. You should probably think about doing something else. I've been told
Hmm.
everything under the sun, and it took me believing within myself and investing. Right? I had to spend money. You have to spend money
Yeah.
on headshots. You have to spend money on class and workshops and all those different things. I didn't just happen overnight. It took time to even get here into that next phase of where I'm trying to go. It's going to take time as well. So it's just the accumulation of failure,
Hmm.
learning from those failures, and then applying what you learn to that next step, right?
Yeah.
I've I've been on SAG sets, I've been on independent sets, and I've always had that same fire to whatever job that I'm doing. Because once my name is on the line, they're hiring me to do a job and not just do it good, to do it excellent, to do it above reproach,
Hmm.
and that's an opportunity to always create another relationship to where, hey, we have an opportunity. You're the perfect candidate for it, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of this is who you know as well. So I think a lot of my failures have propelled me and pushed me into a position to be exactly where I'm at now.
That's amazing. And how do you prepare for a role? Like when you get a script, first, how do you get, like, which, before you answer that, what project will you be interested in? Like, what is it? The role, the script, the director, the film, the like.
It's a I guess you could say it's a conglomerate of things. When
Hmm.
people reach out, or if I see a casting that I like and I submit for it, I'm always seeing who is like attached to it, who's the director on it, who's the casting director on it, and
Yeah.
had what type of projects does these people, this production company have out now that I can watch and see the type of things that I'm going to be walking into. So you always want to be close attention to that. And then after that, it's definitely the script and how is the script, what's going
Hmm.
on in the scene, and what is my character supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
if I bring it on a character, I don't judge my characters, but I have to always make sure that I align and am in agreement with my characters, whether they're the antagonist or the protagonist, right?
Hmm.
Situations in life, acting imitates life or imitates living. So there's going to be bad situations, there's going to be good situations, but
Hmm.
I accept the character for who they are. And as long as I can accept the character for who they are, I have no problem portraying and bringing that character to life, good or
Hmm.
bad, right? I wouldn't say protagonist or antagonist. And then we'll start there, and then I really just build my character up over time. I ask a lot of questions. So when I'm talking to the director or I'm talking to the writer, I'm asking questions about situations that's going on in the script, what's going on in the script when I'm doing my backstory.
Yeah.
A few things I don't. I try to get as specific as possible on some things, but some things
Mm-hmm.
it just is what it is, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't really try to oversimplify over. I try to keep it as simple as
Yeah.
possible on certain things, only because
Yeah.
I understand you might not have to add a lot within the
Mm-hmm.
confines of the scene or what's going on within the story, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we can add so much more to what's being added instead of telling the story as it is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of different things that I've just consistently learned over time.
Mm-hmm.
I recently did a film by the name of Code, which is streaming now on Tubi. If you look it up, or if you follow me on any of my social platforms, you'll be able to
Yeah.
go straight to that movie and you can stream it. And I play a rap artist, recording artist that's just trying to make a way and make a name for himself. And you'll
Yeah.
see the different levels of who he is as a person. He's a kind-hearted
Yeah.
person. He does for his family, and he's about his business as well. And so, with movies like that or with characters like that, I'm always trying to bring my A
Mm-hmm.
game in every single opportunity.
Do you have any tips for memorizing? Some actors they
Mm,
struggle with
I
memorization.
could be honest, memorizing is one of my hardest parts as well. So a lot
Yeah.
of times you just sit with it. It just depends on the script. Some scripts I can memorize faster. Other scripts, depending on the amount of
Yeah.
dialogue and how wordy it is, it takes me longer to memorize as well. But it's just being consistent. I know people write down their lines.
Mm.
People just sit with it, meditate on the words
Yeah.
for a long time. That's more along what I do. I consistently read it over and over again, and I'm
Yeah.
consistently just trying to learn it so that I
Yeah.
can forget the words and then just be in the scene and just go from there.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Yeah.
uh,
That's good
there's
tips.
so many different tips and ways, right?
Yeah.
A big proponent that I definitely recommend is Google. Google, YouTube. Like they have memorization skills, memorization
Yeah.
tools, memorize all different types of different things like that. So for if it's still tough for you, you find your mechanism that gets you to what you're trying to do.
That's amazing. Um, what was one of unexpected challenge you faced when getting started? Oh, you already said that you're not too good. You're not. Do you
It
want to
was that,
elaborate
and
more on
then
that?
I think a lot of I don't want to say gatekeeping. I think it was just a lot of doubters, right? So when I started
Yeah.
off as a model, I'm all of 5'9", but at that time I probably was like 145, 150. So I was lean,
Yeah.
but I was always told I was too short. I was always told I should probably try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nobody really believed in me. I really had to find my voice within my
Yeah.
talent. Of course, my family was behind me all the way, especially my mom and my grandmother
Yeah.
on my mom's side, and then everybody else started to trickle in once they started seeing more success within my brand. But it was just continuously finding my voice and not allowing others um, remarks to stop me from reaching my destiny. And I still have yet to reach it yet, and I feel like I'm closer than ever. But
Mm-hmm.
I always remember to stand firm on your voice, stand firm on your why, stand firm in who you are and what you bring to the table. Because what you bring to the table is special, and it's nothing like anything anybody else could do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. So how do you see acting evolving in the next few years, especially, I guess, with AI?
I feel like a lot of people are going to be producing their own content, making money
Yeah.
on their own content. I think cable will become obsolete. I think a lot of things will be definitely geared towards streaming.
Mm.
You'll still have a few different channels, but I think within the next 10 years, apps like Tubi, Plex, TV, Amazon Prime, that's where a lot of the content will start going. YouTube, Facebook. I think you'll start seeing a big surge in content going that way because now we literally can create Hollywood on our phones, right?
That's true.
The
Yeah.
old the old ways of doing things are are not those ways anymore. Budgets are getting cut, right? So back
Yeah.
in the day, they had millions upon millions of dollars on the budget side, but they figured that people can make quality content for like 100th of the
Yeah. A
price,
fraction of
and
the
so now a
cost.
fraction of the price. So now
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
companies is like, well, if they need $5 million to do this, I can give them $500,000 or $100,000, and they can still make a high quality movie and go
Yeah.
from there. So it's just finding your niche, right? Because if you
Yeah.
create something special and you pitch it and they buy it, hey, and you just
That's true.
create a pipeline for yourself. So I think in the next 10 years, that's where that's going to be. And then even myself, like my goal is to continuously hit the market so that people know my name, but I'm definitely looking into producing my own content, producing my own works, things that I can star in, things that other people can star in. Like
Yeah.
I'm really going to get into the backside of this thing as well. But I'm solely focused on my acting first, and then everything else will fall in
Yeah.
place.
Lots of actors, they basically start with acting, they continue with acting, and they start their own production companies, and then
Absolutely,
they create their own projects and they act in them and stuff. Yeah, that's the way to go, I guess.
absolutely.
So before we move on to the next segment, let's watch a clip from your reel.
Hello. I'm Dave. I just moved in.
I'm Erica. Welcome to the neighborhood.
We should hang out sometime.
Yeah, I love that.
What if I want more?
Well, that's all I have to offer at the moment.
That's sad because I thought you had more. I guess my job here is done. I want you to stay away from Saladin. I don't trust him.
You don't have to be threatened by him. I'm with you, remember?
Still, stay away.
Okay, so you ready for the next batch?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, what's one crucial piece of advice would you give someone interested in acting? Like
Hmm.
kids from school, aspiring actors, even old people. I think they can start. Like, there's no
Do your research.
age limit. Yeah.
The biggest thing I would say is do your research, right? You could get
Yeah.
all this information from different people, different actors, different coaches, different such and such. Do your own research.
Hmm.
Google, how do I become an actor? What kind of resources are in your network or within your market, right? Because the resources that's in LA are not the same resources that's in Dallas, that's the same resources in Atlanta. Each one, they provide different things, but
Hmm.
you gotta do your research. Don't just take it on somebody else's word. Take it on your word to do the due diligence. We live in an age where the phone is in everybody's hand. Even a 5-year-old know how to work a
Yeah.
phone. So you got to do your research, right? And then don't bank on, oh, I want to become an actor and I'm gonna get rich overnight. Some people that happens, but that's not the norm. And so
Yeah.
we have to understand that because a handful of people be successful a certain way does not make it the norm. It just makes it that those handful of people were able to do it that way. But you have to understand of doing the work, doing your research, getting in class, developing. All of those go hand in hand when you are trying to get into this thing. Because a lot of times people want to get in it for the popularity, and it does not work that way, especially
Yeah.
if you want to be taken seriously in this craft.
For the passion. Yeah. So when do you start looking for agents, and what tips do you have to find an agent?
Um, the biggest thing that I say is, do I have my tools in order before I go to an agent? All I know is before I got signed, I knew I had to have a headshot. I
Hmm.
don't know how I knew that, but I knew that because everybody had a headshot. It just was
Yeah.
a part of the game, right? So understanding what a headshot is, how to have a headshot, understanding your casting sites. You have the two big ones are Actors Access Casting Network. You also have Casting Frontier. You also have what's that? Is that? It's one more I can't think of the name of right now.
That's okay.
But
Yeah.
getting on those sites putting your headshot up there, and even if you don't have any work or previous past work, you want to create and build a skeleton just because it's
Hmm.
something that they can build in. Agents all the time are investing and have no problem signing a talent that has no background or any work. But if they can see something in you, they'll sign you, right?
Okay.
So don't be afraid to have an agent. If you want to be successful in this thing, you have to have representation because your
Hmm.
representation is submitting you to these jobs that you're not able to submit yourself. So the biggest thing for me is making sure the main two things when you start this thing is do your research, get a
Yeah.
headshot, get into a class, get an agent. There's never a wrong time to submit for an agency because if they see something in you, and if you get into a class that's taping your scenes, they'll sign you off of that because they know that you can act, right? A
Hmm.
lot of times, a lot of agencies are referral based, or you have to have at least 5 years of acting experience or field experience. But there are times where they make exceptions, right? And so
Yeah.
if you don't do your part, they can't do their part. So you always
Yeah.
have to do your part to put yourself in a position for them to do their part.
Yeah. That's great. Great tips. Thank you.
No problem.
Um, what can you share a moment when you faced a significant obstacle and how you overcame it?
Um, a significant obstacle. I mean, it really is a lot, but I think
The one that stands out for you or
the
you
one that
remember.
stands out for me was having the opportunity to be on a Tyler Perry production, and it's just an audition, but I put everything I had into that audition.
Yeah.
I invested in the one-on-one coaching session to create the scenario, to create the character, to build them up. I wore the appropriate attire. My mindset was on it. And I really wanted it, you know. And sometimes it's not for you, and that's okay. And I think just understanding that rejection is a part of the game. No's
Hmm.
are a part of the game, and
Yeah.
you're not going to book everything. But the biggest thing that I remember and that I recall is just after I dealt with it, didn't internalize it, just accepted it, I was able to move forward. And you have to just have the thickest of skin in this thing because you're going to get way more no's than you get yeses.
Yeah.
But you fall in love with the process because you know that your yes is right around the corner. And I think
Mhm.
that's what has allowed me to stay consistent in the midst of it all. And of course, I have my family. Everything is in alignment of what I'm trying to do. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's how you get over those obstacles. That's how you get over those mental. It's really mostly mental hurdles.
Yeah.
And the more and more that you can complete those hurdles and pass through those hurdles, the more success that you can achieve.
That's true. Yeah. So what's one common misconception about acting that you'd like to clear up?
That is easy. Acting is not easy. Um,
Yeah.
Acting or modeling is not easy. It's a skill set. You wouldn't just throw on a lab coat and go to a lab and be like, "Oh, I'm a lab technician now." It doesn't work that way. You have to put in the work to be able to call yourself a lab technician or to call yourself a doctor or a nurse. You have to take the training for it. Well, a lot of times, because it's an art form, people just necessarily say, "Oh, I don't really have to take classes. I'm gonna just act like myself." But we don't hire you to act like yourself. We hire you to act like the character. We hire you to do the things that we need you to do to bring this character to life in the aspects of what we need you to do it, but we know you're capable of doing it because you have the skill set. But if you're never working on your skill set, you're never prepared for the moment. And it's always about being prepared for the moment because as actors, we have to be flexible. Let's say that this was the original scene that we wanted to do, but we can't do that scene because we don't have that location. So we have to switch it and do this location. If you didn't do your homework throughout the whole thing, you won't know how
Mhm.
to adapt when it's time for something to change. I think
Yeah.
the biggest asset that you can have is being adaptable and be able to move with what's moving. Case in point is if there is a part of the scene that hey we have to skip that and go here, then I already know what's going on within the story and how to make sure that the level that I bring here is going to be a little bit different than what I bring here because this might have happened after this or before this.
Mm.
It just depends on how everything going. But if you didn't do the training for it, then you have no way of knowing how to do it. And people all of a sudden think, well, it's a God given ability, and so I'm just going to go on set. Well, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? You can
Yeah.
be the most talented in the world, but if you're lazy, if you don't hop yourself in the class, if you're not working on your tools, if you're not working on your skill set, you're just a talented person that's stuck. You're just a
Yeah.
talented person that's stuck, and we don't want to be that. So I think the biggest thing and misconception is that this is easy, and this is far, far, far from easy, especially when you dig deep into that character.
Yeah, that's great. So before we move on to the next, to the final segment, let's watch a clip from your reel.
Awesome.
Bro, that's my class though. I be through there all the time. Trust me.
Don't even worry about it, man. Look, send me that nigga address. I'm gonna handle that.
Okay, is there one last thought or piece of advice you'd like to share with our audience or listeners?
Oh man, I think when we start understanding and just continuously say yes to the things that we want in life, and it's not just pertaining to acting. If you're a person that's in business, if you're a person that's a content creative, if you're a person that has a podcast, if you're a person that has anything, never tell yourself no. Don't tell yourself no because you never know the heights of which you can reach. So if anything, dream and dream big, fail big, apply it, and watch yourself succeed to the next level.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, that's powerful. Um, there's one question. Is there a dream project or collaboration you're still hoping for?
Um, a dream project. I would love to work on the Hallmark channel. I think I would love to be on the Hallmark side and on the Hallmark Mahogany side. I always see myself as like a father next door, boy next door, one of the good guys. You know, one of
Yeah,
those love filled holiday type of films. I definitely would love to be a part of a project like that. I was a part of one but they ended
yes.
up cutting my scene. But it's okay. It was for another thing called Great American Christmas or Great American Family that's out
Mhm.
here. But yeah, that's one of the dream roles, dream places that I would love to work.
Is there a specific genre you'd like to work
Uh,
on you've never
rom
worked
com,
before?
rom com.
Rom-com.
I think
Okay.
I would love to be able to work in rom com. On the independent side, I've done the, mafia family, the
Yeah.
rapper, the you know, pharmaceutical specialist type of type of roles. But I want to see myself outside the box and being
Yeah.
more intimate in within my reels, being more family oriented. I think a lot of those roles
Yeah.
is definitely what I'm gearing towards.
Okay. We will see you there. We'll watch your
Absolutely.
films. Yeah. So how can our audience connect with you or learn more about your work?
Absolutely. Well, if you follow me on IG at Tyrone, Tyrone, Betters, Betters, we'll get connected right there. On my site, well, really on my IG, you'll be able to go to my site where it has all of my films, it has all of my interviews, and it has all of my write-ups that you can read and learn more about me. Also, if you just reach out in my DM, I usually answer most of my DMs and just I'm always down to collab and connect in different ways. And yeah, I'm always reach away. Just follow me and also follow my YouTube at Tyrone Betters Official, and you'll be able to see some of my work, some of my clips from films that I'm in. You'll be able to get the whole nine of what's going on with Tyrone Betters.
Excellent. Are there any upcoming projects or collaborations you're excited about?
Right now we have the movie Code out now on Tubi. I have another movie by the name of Wrong Address that's coming out and is starring a person by the name of Charleston White. He's kind of a character out on this side. I also have a movie called But I'm Married. Shout out to Corte, official Corte. That'll be coming out later this year. Well, really, I believe at the top of next quarter, that'll be coming out. And then I just wrapped on a series called Love and Larceny. Shout out to Southeast Cinema. We just wrapped on that. I have a series called Secrets and Yards. They are finishing up the touches, and I think that'll be launched soon. I also did a episode on a series called Bounty. I
Mhm.
believe that'll be coming in maybe closer toward the end of the year, top of the year next year. And that's all I have so far. We're consistently
That's a
auditioning
lot.
and working. And
That's amazing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think God is just doing something amazing right now. He's allowing me to experience some great things right now. So at the top of the year, I've already done 16 auditions between theatrical and commercial. And we have a few more auditions that's going to be on the horizon. So I'm just staying open and ready for whatever God has for me.
Wow. Yeah, so Tyrone, thank you for being on the show. We came to the end of the show, and Tyrone Betters, everyone, thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you all for joining us on this journey into the heart of artistry in the film industry. Whether in front of the camera, behind it, or bringing stories to life in countless other ways, remember this: every great moment in the art starts with passion, persistence, and the courage to create. Your voice, your vision, your craft, it all matters, and it all shapes the stories the world needs to see. Until next time, stay inspired, stay driven, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The future of film is in your hands. See you soon. Until next time, Gilbert K. out.